Thank you very much. Kindly take your seats. Attorney Arminda Akyatan Guerrero, President of ACPAP. Mr. Carlitos Cruz, President of ACPAP Foundation. Ms. Marifi Maring, Executive Director of ACPAP. Attorney Antonio Akyatan, ACPAP Inducting Officer. Ms. Maria Cecilia Ortiz, Mr. George Villaruz, and other past presidents of ACPAP, directors, officers, and members of ACPAP and ACPAP Foundation, representatives from government, regulatory agencies, ladies and gentlemen, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me today as we induct your new set of officers and welcome new members to your organization. A fitting way to welcome the new year and to remind us of why we do what we do. The ACPAP has come a long way in developing a space where our CPAs in public service can grow, receive professional support, and learn best practices. Through your programs and guidance, we are confident that our accountants will remain true to the principles that make them trustworthy and professionals. The value of integrity, accountability, and responsibility are critical for our country, especially during these extraordinary times when our institutions are facing challenges. In the past year, the theme of your association was moving forward together, a message that resonates beyond your organization's core. It sets the tone for everyone to make ACPAP a more accessible channel for all CPAs in public practice. I wish you success in reaching out to more individuals of your profession, allowing more CPAs nationwide to join you in giving quality service for the benefit of our people. The pain that followed the financial crisis of 2008, which shook the foundations of the accounting profession around the world, made it necessary to raise the standards for financial disclosure. It was a painful awakening, but one that made your profession stronger and protected investors and consumers around the world. Today, the daunting task of ensuring that every financial statement is factual and correct, and that nothing falls between the cracks, rests on your shoulders. But more than that lies the deeper responsibility of having a strong sense of what is right and wrong. I know that this is easier said than done. Do we choose the difficult right or the easy wrong? More than anyone, the duty to uphold integrity and accountability in any group or institution is something that is deeply woven into your every professional decision. Being a public servant entails living these very same principles, to be accountable, transparent, and faithful in our service to our fellow men. In more ways than one, you and I share the same task, to make sure more, if not all, of our citizens benefit from effective and good governance. Since I was in my early 20s, I saw how critical financial accountability is in creating an environment of trust in our country, which is in turn extremely necessary for our growth as a nation. My late husband, Jesse, was mayor of Naga City for a total of 6 terms. It was a conscious effort on our part to live simply and made sure our children were not raised to feel any sense of entitlement. But it did not end there. Jesse instituted several measures to make sure that everyone, from the messenger to the mayor, will be honest and accountable in the course of their duties. Believing that it is not enough for public officials to be good. There should be systems in place which will ensure that he will continue to be good. As soon as he assumed office in 1988, he created transparency boards so that financial statements are posted in public places, and ordinary people will have the power to assess whether their government is honest in using taxpayers' money. This became the seed for the full disclosure policy, which he instituted in DILG when he was appointed Secretary of the Interior. He also created the Naga City Citizens Charter to further make the City Hall transparent to everyone. But looking back now, I think what made the people appreciate the kind of public servant that he was the fact that his honesty as a public servant was not just a slogan or a mere campaign promise. It was how simply he lived until the day he died, which is a manifestation of his inner values. These are the same values that we espouse today at the Office of the Vice President. We have one of the smallest budgets in the bureaucracy, and I'm sure you know that. So our programs, Angat Buhay, Partnerships Against Poverty, Angat Kabuhayan, which is our push for livelihood and employment, and Istorya ng Pag-asa, our attempt to fight fake news, hate speech, and divisiveness in society today. All of these are funded with both taxpayers' money and donations by our development partners, private corporations, organizations, and some multilateral donors. Since we launched Angat Buhay in October of 2016, we have reached out to more than 89,958 families, mobilizing 182 million pesos worth of projects in 176 local government units. Together with our private partners, we have built school buildings, playgrounds, libraries, play gardens, and dormitories. We have turned over fishing boats, school books, farming equipment, water pumps, multi-cabs, solar kits, and carabaos. We have also organized job fairs, provided free medical and dental checkups and legal services, initiated feeding programs, and distributed relief goods. As of last month, we have visited more than 138 cities and municipalities across the country. One of those places we visited was Agutaya. I don't know if you have ever heard of Agutaya, but it is in northern Palawan. Perhaps many of you have not heard about Agutaya yet, but it is a small island municipality in northern Palawan. You have to take a 10-hour boat ride from Coron just to get there. We went there 2 Novembers ago. When we arrived, most of the people who met us were in tears. The mayor, the adults, the children, and we were told later on that it was because not many government officials visited them because of their distance. In Barangay Diit, in Agutaya, we met Mayor Abus. Mayor is 33 years old and the youngest of 4 siblings. Her mother is a burihat and pandan banig weaver, while her father is a fisherman.
Pagkain. Welcome to my terrace club. Pagkain kayo.
Sa kaso ng nurse and vlogger na si Grace, kapag napuyat, kapag stressed,
Na po tayo doon para makita nyo din.
Po pala mga kabatang helmet ang sitwasyon dito sa may Ilaya Divisoria.
Kasama ko si Grace ngayon.
Ayan, magbibigay na lang tayo ng konting tulong kay nanay para dahil hindi nga siya nakaka... Ayan, pila kuya? 1,000! 200! Kuya, ilan po kayo? Ayan. Ito na po yung mga food packs. So kasama ko na po ang leader po ng mother leader po na si Ma'am Rochelle Ho.
Hello po. Thank you very much po sa lahat ng mga sponsor.
When her siblings got married, Mare became the sole breadwinner of the household. Given the lack of opportunities in the island, Mare struggled to find a steady job to support her parents. Through the help of one of our partners, Andres Soriano Foundation, Mare learned how to weave baskets. Now, her products are displayed and sold in Amanpulo and other luxury hotels. In Bukidnon, one of the stories that I love is that of Bajekjek. Grabe yung pangalan, no? Bajekjek. I am sure, but that's her real name. I am sure you heard about the farmers who walked in 2007 from Bukidnon to Manila to protest their decade-long struggle to own their ancestral land. Pinanalo nila yun sa Supreme Court, so they got their land back. When I was still a human rights lawyer, the organization I was involved in, Saligan, handled the case of the Sumilaw farmers in Bukidnon. Bajekjek was one of the youngest who took part in that march. Last year, our partner, Pilipinas Shell Foundation, partnered with OVP to provide integrated farming and biosystems training to 244 local farmers in Sumilaw, 256 farmers in Tampakan, South Cotabato, and 190 farmers from Tinambak, Camarines Sur. I personally attended their graduation last October, and I am happy to tell you that Bajekjek was one of those who finished the program. Thank you to our partners, farmers like her now have easy access to innovative and sustainable farming techniques to improve their produce. Every single peso we are generously given by our lawmakers and our government, we hope to match with funds donated from our private partners. And all of these resources we account for meticulously because they represent the hard work of every taxpayer in our country today. This is why I admire your theme for this year, Rising as One. It is a continuation of your last year's call to action, to take this journey of transformation together as an organization. We hope that you will be able to pull more people into your cause as our country steps into a widely expected era of economic growth, resulting from our demographic window. Working in government and even the private sector, these themes also serve as a reminder to us, public servants, that to ensure that no one is left behind as our nation progresses. It asks us to go beyond our comfort zones and consider the welfare of others, our fellow men, those outside our circles, those who need our help the most. Earlier, I mentioned our programs at the Office of the Vice President. Every week, we allot 2 or 3 days to visit our Angat Buhay communities. Kadalasan po, Biyernes sa Sabado. Yun yung aming provincial visits. This is not included in the mandate of our office, but we believe that we cannot sit for 6 years doing nothing. Nung umupo po ako, tinignan ko yung aming budget. Wala kaming budget to implement programs. Yung budget namin, pang sweldo, operations of the office, and ceremonial work. But there is nothing there for programs. So we raised money from private partner with our private partners. By visiting these communities, we would be in a better position to help our countrymen in need dahil nakikita po namin ng personal kung anong pinagdadaanan. From day one, our dream has been simple: to put those in the margins at the front and center of our advocacy. This means rolling up our sleeves and getting to work to ensure that no Filipino is left behind in our growth and development as a nation. Through Angat Buhay, we partner with different development organizations to address gaps in food security and nutrition, public education, rural development, women empowerment, housing and resettlement, and livelihood. By securing the needs of the Filipino family today, we are laying the groundwork for a better future for the next generation. Working with the private sector has proven to us that collaboration is key in solving the pressing problems we face today as a nation. Together, we were able to sponsor feeding programs for malnourished children. Partners from different industries have shown their support in providing jobs for our people in rural communities. Classrooms have been built for students who used to walk several kilometers each day to go to school. And basic needs such as water and electricity have been turned over to families in far-flung areas. We would not have done any of these without the trust and support of other organizations who trust us and believe in our advocacies. Which is why it is my hope that as you reach greater heights, you also turn your gaze towards those beyond your usual circles. One of your missions as an organization is to strengthen your advocacy role and come out with activities that will solidly unite your members. I believe this is an opportunity to put those in the fringes of our society at the front and center of what we do. Jesse once said about integrity, and I quote, "Hindi sapat na tayo ay matino lamang. Hindi rin sapat na tayo ay mahusay lamang. Hindi lahat ng matino ay mahusay. At lalo namang hindi lahat ng mahusay ay matino. Ang dapat ay matino at mahusay upang tayo ay pagkatiwalaan ng pera ng bayan." Close quote. It is a reminder to all of us of what our outlook should be in our line of work. It is not enough that we are matino if our work does not reflect this ideal. It is not enough as well to be just mahusay if we do not work to serve our purpose properly. We need to be both matino and mahusay to become worthy of our people's trust. Because ultimately, it is a reminder to always keep in mind the bigger picture that makes our work meaningful, the Filipino people. Our mission is not simply to spot errors and improve systems to meet certain standards. It is about making our processes work better because we want to deliver better services for our countrymen. You are not in this alone. We in government are fortunate to find partners in ACPAP for your continuous support in strengthening the capabilities of our CPAs and empowering them in their work in public service. So to our newly inducted officers and members who are here today, we hope that you take this opportunity to realize your strengths and become your best selves. Take pride in becoming part of an organization that values being matino and mahusay and strives to embed the same to its members. With professionals like you in public service, we can work towards a government that truly works for the benefit of our people. So thank you very much for having me with you this afternoon, and I wish you all a very productive seminar. Congratulations po sa inyong lahat. Magandang hapon muli.